the skill set that teachers have is so powerful and so robust.
My name is Aleesha, and I'm here to tell you why I do not regret quitting teaching. So first off, I just wanted to share, like, teaching is a hard job. Like, if you have never taught in a school, in a classroom before, I feel like you can't relate. Like, when you try to talk to people about like the immense load of teaching and all it entails and what it involves and how it's like you take it home with you. It's not just a job that you just go clock in and then you leave. At least for me, it was not like that. And for most people that I talk to, like, they're not able to just boom, break it and then just go home. Like, there's always more to it. It's like a mental thing. It's like you don't feel like you're on break until the summer, and then you're only on break for a little bit because you're thinking about like planning your next year and trying to get ahead so you're not as stressed out as the year before. So anyways, I just want to tell you, all you teachers, like, you are amazing and you are so valuable and so special and so beautiful, and you are doing a beautiful thing. And if no one ever tells you, I am proud of you. I am proud of you for like giving of yourself. I'm proud of you for all those long hours. I'm proud of you for holding in there. I'm just proud of you because, again, teaching is not for the faint of heart. Even when you're at a good school, like I taught in 3 different schools, but that's also because I was asked by the principal to move schools when there was opening a new school. So, and I had amazing principals, like, for the most part, like, all except, I would say 1, but anyways, I had really good principals, guys, and they were amazing. Yet it's like they can't be in the classroom doing all the things for you. Like, I was under good leadership. I was in a good school. I was in a really rough area, but I don't know. It was intense. And yeah, so I was in the classroom for 4 years, and I ended up quitting teaching my 4th year, which was also the year that I got Teacher of the Year. Woohoo! Anyways, it was so funny because I was telling God, like, I want to sign, because I knew that I was not to teach my whole life, and I was like, God, give me a sign. And that was why, like, I just pushed through, and it was so beautiful. Like it really was a beautiful experience for me. That is not everybody's story, but for me. And I was in a really rough area, but I found it so rewarding. And it's like, I really enjoyed the kids, even though they were difficult kids. Like, I'm one of those people that just like, gets like at the kids level, and like they would send like the behavior therapist from like the district to come like watch how I interacted with the kids, just because like that was where I found my joy, like the interaction with them. And yeah, it was tough interactions at times, but I just got so much from just like being a safe place for them and just being able to show them love when they might not have had that love at home. So that part I loved. The part that was hard is the mental load for me. This is just my story. This is not for you. It might be the kids and and when I taught back in 2017. So that was, I feel like the kids might have been a little bit different back then, even in my rough area. Like, I was in a Title I school in, around Houston, and so a Title I school means like all the kids are on like free and reduced lunch, like they all get, because it was just a rough school. And I taught in an inclusion classroom, which means I taught kids, I had kids also with special needs in my classroom. At one point I taught ESL classroom, so I had students that were also English was their second language, and so I had like a lot of different things going on. But yeah, I think the hardest part for me was the mental load of like feeling like their education is on my shoulders. And a lot of my students were like so behind, and just like not being able to get them where they needed to be, even though it was unrealistic of me to try to think that I could. I tried so hard. And even just the pressure of just like having to be on and in front of like a classroom and like just trying to give my best and trying to plan lessons, and you're planning lessons, but you're also going into 504 meetings, and you're also doing like IEPs, and you're also having parents meeting, you know, parent teacher conferences, and you're also like, there's just so much going on, and there's so much like admin work, and there's just so much. Like every weekend I took stuff home, and I was like the teacher that would like get there. I was like one of the first teachers there and like one of the last teachers to leave. Like I was like that one. And I would like come in the mornings, I would be like praying. I'm like, Lord, give me strength. Like, Lord, like I would just, it was intense. And like, but I'm thankful for it. And I know the Lord like had me do that for a reason. So I ended up, like I was saying, I was like, Lord, like, I know this is not all you have for me, like, give me a sign. So anyways, but in the meantime, I was like, I'm gonna do this. And so I ended up getting, going to try to go to school to get like my master's, because I was like, okay, I'm gonna get my master's and instructional leadership. That's what I was going for. I was like, because maybe instead of being in the classroom as a teacher, like maybe I can make a bigger impact, because I was like all about like, I want to like be able to like touch more students. Like I want to be able to like interact with more students. And so I was like, maybe I can be, you know, like the math specialist, and I can go into the classrooms and like I get to know more students. So that's why I was going to school, to get my master's in instructional leadership. And about halfway into that, I found out that I was pregnant with twins. And so I was like, what in the world? And then, yeah, so, and I just knew like, okay, like maybe this is a sign, like maybe I'm not to do this anymore. I don't know. And then when I ended up getting my, the teacher of the year thing, I knew that the Lord was telling me like it was okay to go. Okay, we're back. I had to delete things off my phone. Because I ran out of storage. But my boys ended up coming early, and they ended up coming in March when they were due in June. So I thought I was going to be able to finish out the school year, but I ended up having to stop abruptly because they were like very, they're considered like micro preemies. They were very small. They were in the NICU. Anyways, so I had to stop teaching then. But the moral of this story is, I am so thankful that I no longer have a 9 to 5. I look at teaching as a 9 to 5. That's something that you have to like go in Monday through Friday. You have to go in at be there by a certain time, and you leave at a certain time, and it's the evening, basically when you're leaving. And so you guys, I am so thankful, and I will never go back to a 9 to 5. Unless the Lord tells me to, because he may, but I don't think he will. But anyways, so, because if you think about it, like with a 9 to 5, guys, especially with a teaching 9 to 5, I feel like that's even another level. Again, teaching is another level, you guys know. With a 9 to 5, it's like you are constantly, like you are meeting in at a certain time. It's like I don't even know how to explain it. I already talked about the things about teaching that are just so difficult. But even just with the traditional 9 to 5 job, it is just like you don't have a freedom. Like you're not like living your life like in a free, fluid way. Like you're tied to a certain thing at a certain time. You're there all week. You live for the weekends, in a sense, is when you get to do your things. Now, I guess what you could say though is what I do now. I still have a, pretty set Monday through Friday, but I have so much more time throughout the day, or how I want to schedule my day, or how I want to go about things, or if I even want to schedule a class at that time, okay, so let me get into what I do. And there's so many things like this, guys. Like, so if you are feeling like, because right now, even if you're watching this video right when I post it, you might not though. This would be winter break for teachers. So they're on like a 2-week break for winter break. And this was such a hard time for me to like, be like, okay, like I have this freedom, and then, but it's about to end, like, I don't know. It was like just a really hard time, because you're also like thinking about like how your year is going, and like, okay, now I have to go into the second big, push of this. And a lot of people are like thinking about this right now, like a lot of teachers. And I just want to say, like, there is hope. Like, if you're thinking, like, I don't really think that I want the mental load of that. Like teaching is mentally very hard. And if you're like, I don't want that anymore. Like, I don't want the stress that this is bringing, because it's a lot. It's a lot. Teaching is so much, like, mentally, physically, it's like exhausting. And guys, if you're like, I can't do it anymore, like, if you're like, I want something different for myself, like, I want to, like, put me first in a different way, like where, I have more freedom, and I can, like, have time to actually interact with the things that I love to do, and I don't have to, only have 2 days of fun. Not even 2 days, because, like, typically, like, on Sunday, well, I would be doing stuff on Saturday too for school, but typically, like, on Sunday about, like, 12 or like 3, it's like you're like in like go mode for the week, and you're like planning everything, making sure you have everything in order. I don't know how people do it when they have kids, because I was already out of the classroom before, like, my kids were, I had just had them, and I was like out of the classroom. And you guys are superheroes, let me just tell you that, because that is amazing. I don't know how y'all do that, but anyways, so what I do now is I teach online, because I love teaching, and like you guys might genuinely love teaching. It's just the way in which you're teaching and the way in which you're, like, constricted maybe is not for you. So let me put some options out there. Okay, so I teach on a website. I used to initially, when I had my boys and I initially left the classroom, like most of you have probably already heard of this, they had this thing called VIP Kid. Well, I taught on there. And then, though, now I don't think it's even a thing. I think it might still be a thing, but I don't teach on there anymore. Now I teach on a website called outschool.com. So what Outschool is, and this is just like, if you want to know, you can look it up. I'll leave, like, my class profile, like, description down below if you're, like, just interested, because what it is, you don't even have to have a degree for this, guys. That's the crazy part. You just have to get hired, and you don't even need a degree. And if you need help getting hired, I actually helped my friend get hired. So, hey, if you need me. Anyways, that's random. But, you guys, you don't even need a degree for this, which is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. What it is like, I created a class. You can create whatever class you want. Maybe you're interested in mechanics. Maybe you like to knit on the side. Maybe you like to, I don't know what you like to do. Whatever you like to do. You can create a class around it and offer it to kids 3 to 18 years old. You set the price of the class. You set how long the class is going to be. You set when you want to do the class. You set everything. Literally. It's just like they give you a platform, and it's like you're basically like it's like your own little business, and you have this just opportunity to teach kids to make money, and it's just beautiful. Maybe you want to tutor online. Oh, let me share also, you guys. Okay, so when I first started out with that, I think I made like $16,000 my first year. I was still, like, married. No, I wasn't. I was not married at this time, but that year was tricky. Anyways, then I think I made $24,000 my second year, and this is very part-time. This is like 15 hours a week. Like, this is like, yeah. So if I would have done it full-time, I would have made, like, my same as teaching salary. This year I did it. This past year I've made the most. I think I made like 57,000, which is more than I would have made teaching. Well, I probably would have been up to, like, around that now, and minus taxes. So I'm gonna owe like a few thousand in taxes. No, I won't owe, because I have kids. So, well, I have one. I count one. So anyways, I might owe like 1,000. You guys, hello. I worked part-time. I think if you, I'll put it my hours. Like, I'll put it here. Well, I'll link it below if I don't put it there. Anyways, of how many hours I worked, it's very part-time, and I made more part-time than I did full-time as a teacher. I have less stress. I get to homeschool my babies. So I wake up early in the mornings to teach, and then I do like one class in the evening, and I do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And so I teach like 5 hours every morning. Well, some days I teach 4, some days I teach 5. And then one day I teach an extra hour in the evening. I mean, 2 days, Tuesday and Thursday. So you guys, that's just an option. Maybe you just look online and you're like, you know what? Online jobs. Maybe you want to, like, I don't know what you want to do. There's so many options. I just want to give you hope. I just want to tell you that you can do so many things. You can even take your teaching degree, take your love for teaching if you genuinely love it. Because you probably do. I loved it. So like, I wanted to still see kids because that was like my favorite part about teaching was the kids. Even though my kids were like, you know, and I'd be like, you know, you'd have to get them. I've broken up a few fights, dragged a few kids to the office. I totally can relate to those stories. I've seen some desks thrown. I've seen some windows break. Like, I've seen it all, guys. But I just genuinely loved those kids. Because it's like I knew they were coming from like really crazy situations, and at least the ones where I was teaching. And anyways, it was just my heart for it. Like, I just have a heart for it. Like, I love the kids. So anyways, yeah, so it's like I wanted to still be with the kids. So I found something online where I could still be with kids. And now I make more than I did when I taught, and I work way less time. And I have the freedom to do it whenever I want. Like, maybe I'll say, like, you know what, for this week, I'm not going to have a class. And I just plan it a few weeks ahead, and I don't have a class. And I've created now like this curriculum, which is also gives you like the ability like to create curriculum, but like to be rewarded for it. Like, I mean, you're probably rewarded for it already, maybe. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, there's so many options, guys. There's so many work from home jobs. Like, there's people that literally like just like type as a work from home job. There's people that I'll like link work from home jobs that I found. I'm going to link those in the description because I can't even think of all of them. I could just think about like teaching things because that's what I still like to do. But I will link some. I promise I will link them. And you guys can look at these because there's hope for you. Like, you don't have to. You have one life to live. You have one life. And your life is supposed to be joyous and full of joy and full of love and like, and just one that's worth living. And even if that's just like, guys, even if it's just that you do something where you can now have Fridays off and you like to, you know, go on walks, and now you get to walk every Friday for hours, and I don't know, or maybe you want to travel and now you get to travel because you're not tied to a 9 to 5. Like, I will never go back to a 9 to 5, guys. Like, I'm just saying, I just won't, unless the Lord tells me, but I just can't see myself doing it because it's so like restrictive. It's so like, you don't have freedom to do things. Now, granted, with this, what I'm doing now, or with something online, maybe there's times where it's like the money is not as, you know, there as much, but then it's just like you have to just learn how to be a good saver. And I'm having to learn this lesson now because like right now my classes are a little down, my enrollments, but like God is good and I know he's faithful. And you know, like, so I just have to like be smart, be wise. I haven't done this, but I'm learning more to have money set aside for like when it's a little bit lower. You know, I don't know. I just want to say there's hope for you. There is hope for you. Like, you don't have to like live this life that's just like, you have to do this at this time. And don't be scared. Like, don't be scared to do something. I mean, it's scary. It is scary. I was scared, but just do it. Like, oh my goodness, watch. Okay, I'm excited. I remember I wore this. Okay, so do you see this buffalo? Okay, I got this buffalo pendant because I was trying to remind myself, like, and even making this video is doing it. I was trying to remind myself, like I heard the story about there's cows and there's buffaloes, and the difference between a cow and a buffalo is a cow like runs from a storm, but a buffalo turns around and faces and charges into the storm. So be like that buffalo. Like, if you just take a long like think and a long like analysis of your life, and you're like, you know what, I'm not being as fulfilled as I want to teaching anymore, like, or I just can't do this, like, it is mentally exhausting, it is just too much, and you just really realize that that's not what you want to do anymore, know that you have hope, and there's so many options. There's so many options out there. Teach on OutSchool, be a tutor, type. I don't know. They have so many, like, you know, it's like, I don't know. I can't think of it. Like medical coding, I just keep thinking of. But again, I'll put some videos that I've seen below. There's just so many options. So like, be like that buffalo. Think about yourself like this buffalo, which is why I found this pendant on eBay and bought it and put it on, and it came on a chain because I was like, I am like a buffalo. Like, I'm trying to brainwash myself to think like that I'm a buffalo, because I'm like, I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna face and I'm gonna charge into that thing that's hard, because even though it's hard, even though it's scary, it will be better on the other side, and just charge into it. So, you know, whatever it is, maybe you want to do YouTube, you guys, then make a video, make the channel, do it. Maybe you want to, I don't know what you want to do. Whatever you want to do, whatever you feel like fulfills you and you're being called to do. If you don't want to be teaching anymore, then stop. Nobody's making you do it. Like, you have one life. Live it. Anyways, I feel like I kind of rambled on that one. I hope that was helpful, and I believe in you guys. You guys can do this. You can do it. You're superheroes. You're a teacher. Do you realize what you do? You are amazing. You are capable of so much. You're literally like a mom or a dad, like whatever gender you are. You're like a mom or a dad, because it's like you're a counselor when you're a teacher. You're like an admin. You're like a front desk person. You are like so good at time. Like, I remember when I first quit, I was like, look at my, because it's like you're constantly like, okay, it's time for this, time for this. You're so good at, like, probably with your time. Like, you have so much potential to do so many amazing things. Stop thinking less of yourself. Stop thinking like, you know, this is all I know. The skill set that teachers have is so powerful and so robust. You guys, there's hope for you. Just be like the buffalo and just go do the thing you want to do. And yeah, it's going to be great. Anyways, I'm here for it. Let's go. Okay, bye guys. Bye.